bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Our guest this hour is Stephanie Herrig, who is an assistant with the Bridges Volunteer Program. Welcome, Stephanie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
What is the Bridges Volunteer Program?
Many people ask that because it's not well advertised with Salt Lake County Aging Services. It's a program that places volunteers anywhere from age 45 on up into the public schools to work individually with students who need the help, or they sometimes work with small groups, and they don't always work with students who need academic help. Sometimes they act as mentors. They work with children on maybe social problems they might have, getting along with other kids in the school, things like that.
But it all has to do with the education of children.
Yes, yes.
Why, with all of the crying for volunteers, why volunteer in public schools in your view?
Because we do have so many children in the public schools. We have a rather high number of kids in the public schools who could really benefit from working one-on-one with someone in the classroom who is not necessarily their teacher, who can be a friend, who can help them with their academics. And we do have some wonderful statistics on this almost every year that I've heard about the Bridges, even before I was working with the program. Based on evaluations from the past school years, roughly 70% of the students who have been working with a Bridges volunteer have improved their reading 1 grade level or more in just the school year. And it's a terrific program. Our volunteers don't work only on reading, they also work with students on math and social studies, spelling and writing, things like that.
Where do you get your volunteers?
It really depends upon where the volunteer is located. Sometimes they see our flyers in recreation centers, sometimes they see them in churches, sometimes they hear about it word of mouth. And then they give me a phone call and I have them come in for an interview.
Do volunteers have to have education training?
No.
To do this?
No, as a matter of fact, if they want to come in, we have volunteers who come in as grandparents, they come in from professional circles. We also have some non-retired volunteers who are taking their lunch hours and going into the schools volunteering on their lunch hours. We give them an orientation. We do run a background check on our volunteers because they're working with the children, and then we do give them some training. The teachers, however, in the classrooms are the ones who provide all of the necessary tools and the lesson plans for the volunteers to work with the students.
What schools will a volunteer be placed in? Do they get to choose where they are? Or
They do. They do. We work with all 4 school districts in the county. Eventually 5 probably is coming out. But the volunteer chooses the school that's most convenient to them, whether it's close to work, if they want to work on their lunch hour, or close to home.
Who can be a Bridges volunteer? Right now, as we're speaking, your website and your phone number have been on the screen, and so anybody, I guess, could contact. But who do you look for? Who can be a volunteer?
We, of course, with Aging Services, we usually look for seniors or folks older than 45, but we have placed volunteers who have been younger. So I've had college students call up and ask if they could be placed into a school to volunteer, and I will happily place them. But most of the time, age 45 and older.
So you work with Aging Services, the idea being to give older citizens something to do.
Yeah, exactly. A chance to volunteer, a chance to make a difference.
Well, working in the public schools is certainly some place that you can make a big difference.
It is. It's a wonderful place. I love tutoring.
Well, thank you very much for being with us, Stephanie. It's nice of you to make the time. Our guest has been Stephanie Herrig, who is an assistant with the Bridges Volunteer Program. And I'm your host, Don Olson, for Comcast Newsmakers.